Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Devikran Ravela. Today let's discuss about .NET MAUI support for Visual Studio Code. As you can see on screen, .NET MAUI is released and it's in a preview mode now, and it's an official Microsoft version. And as you can see, there are only 5 downloads so far. Let's go through some of the details of .NET MAUI. If I can scroll it down. Yeah, as you can see, it requires a C# and a C# dev kit extensions to work properly, and you need to install them for it to run. And some of the features are .NET MAUI is supported for both emulator and simulator and devices, and some of the operating systems are Windows, Mac and Linux, and they're supporting platforms. Android supports all Android, iPhone and Mac OS, and it does Linux is new and it supports Android only for now. And some of the requirements are .NET 7 and greater, and it has to be activated with a C# dev kit extension with a valid Visual Studio subscription. And with Android requires Android SDK obviously, and iOS will require the latest Xcode. In this case it's version 14.3, and some of the limitations are XAML editing capabilities are pretty light, and they lack IntelliSense at this stage, so autocomplete is not available, and currently you can't switch between the target framework for IntelliSense. And also XAML hot reload is not available, which is a difficult thing for developers to work on, and the extensions are not fully supported for iOS, and you'll see the reasons why in this video. And some of the bugs can be reported with the GitHub repo, and you can also see C# dev kit, which I have already installed. So this is the one you need it. This is also in preview, and this is an official Microsoft extension for Visual Studio, and it has lots of features which are very handy, and these are very useful. So I always recommend it for you to have it. Either you need it, either you're working on MAUI or not, it will be really helpful. And as you can see, I've installed my .NET MAUI extension for Visual Studio, and one of the requirements are it requires .NET 7, not .NET 6, .NET 7. Let me download it as well, and I'm using a Mac, so it's going to be Mac version of this, and let me download. And as you can see, it's a quite big file. It's downloading and it will take some time. So with the magic of video, I'm back, and you can see the installation now, and you need to enter the password for it to install. And let's wait for it to install after my password, and let's see, installing, and it's successfully installed. Let's move that to bin. And after that, let's see the .NET MAUI. Now it's installed, so we need to double check whether it's actually installed properly or not. Let's go to terminal and run this below code snippet on the terminal. Let's open up terminal and run .NET version, and you can see it's installed successfully. It's version number 7. And the next step is to go and create a .NET MAUI app. And as you can see, .NET MAUI app, and you need to click on that button. It will prompt you with the new .NET project. And as you can see, the more I'm clicking, it's not doing anything because it's not installed properly. .NET 7 is not installed properly on my machine. So for this, I need to give it a path. So that's the path that I need to give, and until I give it a proper path, it will not work. And what I need to do is click on that and look at that make sure that path is the valid one. So copy that path and check that on the location, and you can see. Let me copy that and come up with the folder. There you go, the folder location, and can see that's the path location of my .NET executable, right? And once that's confirmed, and let's click enter, and that path is accepted. For this to work, we need to restart our Visual Studio Code. So let's do that quickly. Let's go close the Visual Studio Code and reopen it, Visual Studio Code, and let's go back to the get started with .NET MAUI, and as you can see, it is asking us to open command. I know I'm not going in every path, but since it's accepted it, I'm just taking it what it gives me. And as you can see, it is C# dev kit is also requiring us to upgrade, and for now we'll just pick iOS device and continue to upgrade C# dev kit. Just click on it, and then let's go and upgrade. Okay, before doing that, let's upgrade that first, and it's installing. Let's wait for it to install. I'll come back after installation, and yeah, it's finished installing. And now to go back to the MAUI, click on the click more to see the other options to get started with MAUI. Click more, yeah, and now look for get started with .NET MAUI, and you can see it's asking me to connect to C# dev kit, which I have already connected to. So I'm connecting now. Let's wait for it to connect, and that's connected, and now it's going directly to that path, and you can see my subscription is associated to the C# dev kit now, and it's asking us to install .NET SDK, which we already did. Just let us verify again. .NET version, and see it's .NET 7, and now the next stage is to set up the .NET MAUI environment, and for that we need to run this .NET workload install MAUI code. And let's open terminal, copy .NET workload install MAUI along with a G, of course. Let's remove that G at the start and click enter. It's asking for me to give the privileges, so let's I'm on Mac machine, so let's type in sudo in front and remove the G again. Install, let's type in password, and it should start installing .NET workload for MAUI. It should install now, and it took a long time on my machine, so I'm gonna come back after this installation. And yeah, as you can see, it's still installing. It should not take long. Installing. Okay, it's done installation now. And for us to, we should also be installing we should also be needing the latest Xcode as well. And before that, let's verify the workload, and as you can see, the MAUI workload ID is installed now, and the next step is to create the .NET MAUI app according to these steps. Okay, because I already have Xcode installed in it, and let's verify that. And it's asking us to click on that button, create .NET MAUI app, and it's giving me the option to .NET new project. So all I need to do is click on it, and select a .NET MAUI app and give it a specific location where you want to install. So in my case, I'm going to create a folder hierarchy under documents called VS Code and then MAUI inside it. Okay, I need to trust the author, so I'm going to trust myself, and as you can see, the app is loaded now. Okay, and now click back on more, select get started with MAUI, and now as you can see, I've already connected. I've done all those steps. Click back on I've created the app, and now I need to launch the app. As you know, it's asking us to click on that curly braces on the bottom right, and we have to make sure this is done when you are on the XAML or the C# code. In this case, like when I clicked on launch .NET app, you need to select .NET MAUI from the top, and when you try to run, it's gonna give us some errors because the first thing is I need to accept the Android SDK licenses. So it's gonna prompt me with a bunch of terms and conditions and all those things. So I'm gonna say yes to all of them. So I've not read all of them, but you can read on your time, but I'm gonna say yes to all of them. Since we have no option, if you say no, it's not gonna work. So let's accept all the terms, and now we'll try to launch it. Let's go, and that's a MAUI app, launch, and it's still not right. In my case, what happened was I was having two instances of Xcode. So one instance was a .NET 14.2, another instance was 14.3. I had to do that because of my current project requirements. So nonetheless, so that's the reason why it is doing that. So what you need to do is go to your Visual Studio IDE and change your Xcode path and to the most latest Xcode, and it should resolve the problem. Okay, now when we open Visual Studio, come back, and as you can see, get started with .NET MAUI again, and we have done all those steps, and now try to launch it, and it should still give you that problem because we need to change that path. As I said, like Visual Studio Code should be latest. At the point of recording, it's 14.3 Xcode is required for it to run. So let's go and get the latest Xcode, and let's also install the Xcode. Select install, and it takes a long time for us to install. In my case, it said 79 hours, but it definitely did not take that long. But yeah, it's still 13 more minutes left, so I'm waiting for it to finish. Once that's finished, after that, come back and open up your Visual Studio, and as I said, like click on, you have to be on a XAML code or a C# code file, not on proj file. So if you're on proj file, you can't see that curly braces at the bottom, so you have to be on it. So if you're on a proj file and if you're trying to run, it doesn't give you that option to select the platform that you want to run on. Okay, so go back to the XAML code or a C# file. You should be able to see the curly braces at the bottom, and click on that, and that should give you the project name and the platform that you want to select. And let's start with iPhone, because iPhone has some problems. It can't run on a very first go, as it is recommended on the details of the extension. It's not fully supported. So let's select iOS 14 for now, Pro Max, and try to run it, and run and debug. And you have to select .NET MAUI in this case. So select .NET MAUI and run, and nothing happens. So the simulator doesn't load in this case, so it's still trying to run, and nothing really happened. So and you can see it's stopped, and as you can see, visuals iPhone is not loading yet. And now stop that and change this to Android. Let's type in let's scroll down and see the running Android versions, and that's the one that's running. So let's run and debug again, and Visual Studio should run it on the Android emulator. As you can see, it's running. And let's stop this now and try to run again an iPhone, because it's running on Android on a different Android iPhone device. Maybe this time we'll select iPhone 13 Max. Okay, let's type in iPhone 13, select iPhone Pro Max, and run and debug. It should load now. Yeah, there you go, it's loading, and the app is already pushed to the simulator, and it should pop up anytime. There you go, the app is successfully loaded. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you learned something new. Bye bye.